All right, other results coming in out of the one-piece slate. The Buffalo Bills, slow to start in this one, but edging out the Cleveland Browns 31-23. Josh Allen didn't look himself at times, especially there in the first half, but finishes off with a W and advances to 7-3 on the season. But it was that Buffalo run attack that really plagued this Browns rush defense that's been really the mar of that team all season long. Devin Singletary, 18 totes for 86 yards and a rush touchdown. You also got plenty out of Moss as well. Stephon Diggs, just 5 receiving yards in the first half, did do some damage in the second half, also had a receiving touchdown. All right, we now welcome in James Lofton, who took this one in from the booth. James, it's a pleasure always having you here on HQ, and I want to pick apart some of what you saw from up close and personal.
Sure.
Specifically Josh Allen, and maybe that performance in the first 30 minutes looked better in the second half, but this is a team sort of figuring itself out here in the midst of the season. Looked dominant to start, and then Allen really couldn't get on the mark. Did you see him favoring the elbow at all? What's the issue right now with this passing offense in Buffalo?
Well, you know what? I grew up reading Superman comic books, and in those comic books, Superman would be exposed to kryptonite, but he had no idea where the kryptonite was coming from, so he'd feel a little weak, and then all of a sudden, he'd find out where it was, they'd cover it up with some lead or whatever, and then he'd be his normal self. And I think the same thing for Josh Allen, because he came into this game realizing that he had thrown 6 interceptions over the last 3 ball games, that he led the NFL in interceptions. And so he covered up that kryptonite, and he became Superman in the second half again.
Out of the phone booth and back into action, it's always a pleasure to watch Josh Allen do what he does. We'll get to the Browns side here in a moment, but just to double back on a Buffalo team that really does have the highest of aspirations at this point and really coming into the season. They were our Super Bowl favorites. They do look human at times, especially those back-to-back losses in the first half of this one.
Sure.
But is it almost beneficial for a team of this talent to experience these moments at this part of the season and maybe not in a couple weeks from now?
Well, we're seeing it all around the league. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They're riding that crest. Were they going to be the next undefeated team? How long could they stay undefeated? And I think for the Buffalo Bills, they had 3 losses. 3 losses by a total of 8 points. Just 8 points in total. So those losses were very disappointing for them, and I think that they look at it from a different vision. And Von Miller comes into that locker room, having won the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, being MVP in that contest, having won the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, giving them the type of advice that says everybody goes through adversity. It's how we come out the other side. And so I think that leadership, Von Miller picking the Bills to go to as a team that he thought could be a Super Bowl contender, but now giving them the advice that a Super Bowl contender can give, that a Super Bowl winner can give to that team.
Yeah, we most definitely saw that impact in L.A. a year ago. We'll see if that is the case once again as Von Miller looks for his 3rd Super Bowl with a 3rd different team. It would be something special. James, before we let you go here, a thought on Cleveland, because the headline of that conversation is going to be far different 2 weeks from now with a new quarterback coming back into the fold. How do you sort of keep this group together? Because there was no quit in them here on this given Sunday, but a lot of change is coming.
Well, I watched Jacoby Brissett play today, and I remember when he was a collegiate player at the University of Florida. He had to transfer because he wasn't going to get to play. He had to sit out. And then everywhere that he's been kind of a bridge quarterback. And I asked him about that. He said, you know what? It's okay to be a bridge quarterback because I feel like I'm standing on top of the bridge right now. I know I wasn't the first guy to play this position. I won't be the last, but I'm going to enjoy the view from up top on top of this bridge. And I think that he emanates that same feeling to the rest of his teammates. So I love his attitude, and you saw the fight that he had to come back and throw those touchdown passes late in the 4th quarter in this ball game.
There always seems to be a roster spot somewhere across the league for Jacoby Brissett, and there is always a spot for our James Lofton here on HQ. Thank you, James.
Thank you so much.
And don't forget our team doing it all week long. The NFL Today, every Sunday morning on CBS. No better way to start your Sunday than with our team of expert analysts. The NFL Today on CBS.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.